In what year did Japan's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor lead the U.S. to enter World War II? Year 1941. What was the school in ancient Greece where philosophy and learning thrived? Academy. What was the name of the treaty signed by the Seleucid Empire after its defeat to Rome? Treaty of Apamea. What ceremony did the Roman emperor hold to commemorate military victories? Triumph. How was divine will tested in ancient Babylon when someone broke the law? Thrown into the river to prove innocence if they survived. What is the name of the ancient kingdom where the Code of Hammurabi was created? Babylonia. What was the major port in Athens where maritime trade was actively conducted? Commercial port. What was the capital of the Hittite Empire? Hattusa. Which civilization built the Hanging Gardens of Babylon? Mesopotamian civilization. What is the ancient Roman amphitheater where gladiator games were held? Colosseum. What activities did knightly orders primarily engage in? Protection of lords and combat. What weapon was primarily used by soldiers in a phalanx formation? Spear, sarissa. What treaty did China sign with Britain after the Opium Wars? Treaty of Nanjing. What event caused the death of Athenian citizens during the Peloponnesian War? Plague. Who led the Hebrews out of Egypt during the Exodus? Moses. What was the first metal used by the Hittites? Iron. What was considered the residence of the gods in Babylonia? Temples atop ziggurats. Who was the explorer from Italy that arrived in the Americas in 1492? Christopher Columbus. What strategy did the Spartan army use against Athens during the Peloponnesian War? A strategy of attrition and naval blockade. What were factory owners or entrepreneurs called that formed a new social class during the British Industrial Revolution? Capitalists. What is the famous decree issued by Cyrus II after the conquest of Babylon? Cyrus Decree. What problem did the feudal system emerge to address? Establishing a defense system. Who is the Cynic philosopher famous for living in a tub? Diogenes. What organization did workers form to demand their rights during the Industrial Revolution? Labor union. How did work change with the Industrial Revolution? Shift to factory-based labor. Which dynasty was the first to use bronze items in China? Shang Dynasty. Where is the unique place Diogenes is said to have lived? A jar, large pot, or street? Who gave Theseus the thread to help him find his way in the labyrinth? Ariadne. Which industry was the first to change due to the Industrial Revolution? Textile industry. Who was the ruler of Kievan Rus who unified Eastern Europe and laid the foundation for Russia? Vladimir I. Why was Athens advantageous early in the Peloponnesian War? Strong naval power. According to Socrates, what constitutes true wisdom? Knowing that one does not know. Who was the public official responsible for trials in Athens? Magistrate. Who painted The School of Athens? Raphael. Who was the last leader of the Soviet Union who initiated reforms during the Cold War? Mikhail Gorbachev. Who was the king that led the golden age of the Mali Empire in the 14th century and made a pilgrimage to Mecca? Mansa Musa. What was the policy in Athens that sought equality by distributing land to citizens? Land distribution. Which French Enlightenment thinker advocated for direct democracy? Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Which Asian archipelago did Magellan first reach by crossing the Pacific? Philippines. What are the turtle shells and animal bones inscribed with oracle bone script called? Oracle bones. Thank you for watching until the end. We'd love to hear your feedback and historical insights in the comments. Your support helps us create even more history quizzes. Let's keep exploring together.